Well, hello. I want to talk about how it's time, if many have not done it yet, it's time to stop. And I have to do this too, even if I don't really get into what they're saying, but sometimes you watch things as entertainment because you might just need to be amused from maybe being bored. Maybe you need to hear somebody else's voice. Sometimes you just get bored, right? But it's time for many of us to stop listening to any narratives of especially what is supposedly going on right now. And I'm talking about just on like YouTube or especially the news, okay? But YouTube or anything. When you have people to say, well, you're not taking things seriously and this and that. Here's the thing. If you are a person that believes that you are multidimensional, if you are a person that believes you have reached a point where you know how to create your reality, or you need to know how to create your own reality and not let somebody else create it for you, if you're that person, then you don't need to take a lot of stuff seriously. I don't need to take a lot of stuff. Why would I take somebody else's narrative seriously? Why would I do that? See, what's happening is because a lot of people don't really realize that there's multiple dimensions and they can create their own worlds if they get to a certain level in their own truth, right? Which is, a higher version of themselves, which is closer to the truth. Most people are not really there. They're working on getting there, but some people are at different levels than others. And you have some that just believes that this is just it, and so they give you. And I'm not criticizing these folks because that's their life experience, right? That's their life experience. So I'm not really getting on them about how they should see the world because that's their soul. I don't know how they should see the world. That's their life experience, right? But what I'm saying is that when they want to hop on you about how they feel, when I say you, I mean in general, because I hear how they talk on their videos. So when I say you, I mean in general of how they might talk to their audience about how people are not taking things seriously when they try to warn you about this stuff that's out. This stuff that's going around, these pandemics being pushed. The stuff that might not be on the shelves, what's going on with the meat, and folks getting put out their houses. And you see, the thing is that what most of us need to mature to a point in our spirituality is that this is a mental game. Even not having money is a mental game, right? A lot of things are mental games. So you got some people that might have money, but they have other problems that still get them distracted, right? So it's not just about money, but money is a big way to control somebody. Money is, to me, is the biggest way to control people. I just want to quickly say, you know, because this is going to be a quick one, then I'm going to make another quick one because I want this one to be a separate one. But yeah, not to get too caught up in other people's narratives. See, the thing is that I said this before, that you need 90% spirituality and get to a point of 10% physicality. And the reason why I only say 10% physicality is because we have been so indoctrinated to the point where we have to work on ourselves, right? We have to work on ourselves. We have been severely indoctrinated into a physical type of reality that now we have to work on detoxing, right? From so many lies that we have taken in and so many illusions that we have believed that got us like this in the first place, that got us in this materialized and dense state in the first place, right? That's what I'm talking about. So that's why I say taking in, listening to these videos, and people want to talk about how folks are not listening, how folks, you don't really, you need to prepare for what's coming. See, you prepare enough because here's what I say. You prepare and work on yourself, and the reason why you prepare because you know you need time to work on yourself. And so I say be prepared because it takes work, but not just be prepared and be focused on the physical realm and so be prepared for what's coming. I don't like that because now you agree with what these people are trying to push. I don't say be prepared for what's coming. I prepare because it takes a lot of inner work for me to get out of that severely indoctrinated state of a physical reality. That's indoctrination. If your mind is in a physical reality, that is a lot of indoctrination because physical reality is an illusion. That is a dense, very, very dense state in the mind. Very, very dense. Okay? So it takes time to come out of that. It takes inner work, and the more you do the work, the more you align with your highest truth, but it still takes work. So I don't believe in all this prepare for what's coming. I prepare because I have so much work to do on myself that things still might happen while I'm working on myself, right? Because that is just how dense the mind might be, which I don't like the word the mind, but I just use that anyway. I don't like the word the mind, right? Because the mind is kind of an illusion. In the mind, we are not the mind. We're not the mind at all, okay? So I want to find something else to use besides the mind, because the mind is an illusion. The mind is something that's created by other entities, and that's why they stay in control, because we believe that we are the mind, because we give so much attention to, we don't know anything but the world that we have lived in since we were born, and so we give a lot of attention to a false narrative, okay? And when we learn to detach from a mind that doesn't even belong to us, we are not the mind because we're not even here, we're somewhere else. Once we detach from somebody else's mind and somebody else's narrative, we won't be as controlled anymore. Okay? But anyway, yeah, that's it. But that's all I got to say. Because, yeah, just separate little by little from these type of narratives that they want to push. Okay, separate as much as possible from these type of narratives that's being pushed, because that's somebody else's story. It's not yours. You should create your own story. We really should be grounded more and more in the truth, because the more and more that we ground in the truth, the further we get away from this kind of stuff that's happening. The more and more we ground in the truth, the further we get away from the stuff that's going on, which is an illusion. I mean, a lot of people say you should not fear because fear is false evidence appearing real. But then they turn around and say, prepare for what's coming. But what they're pushing is fear. So why would I prepare for like these entities that's doing this? If they are pushing fear and they're doing this, and a lot of this stuff is man-made, and it's the purpose of it is to push fear, then why should I believe these people? They don't need to be in my storyline anymore, right? How can in one breath somebody tell you not to have fear, but then they want to prepare for what these entities are trying to do? They do nothing to get rid of these entities from their reality. They do nothing. They just want to prepare for whatever these entities do, but do nothing to remove them, period, from their reality. So they're holding on to an illusion. And if you hold on to an illusion, you're holding on to fear. So anybody who is holding on to a reality and only believe in this reality, you have fear because people think fear is a feeling. That's the mistake that folks are making. They think it's about a feeling, and it's not about that. It's not about being afraid of bugs. It's not about being afraid of ghosts and all this stuff. It's not necessarily about a feeling. You can't help but to have fear if you're in a reality where it's mostly an illusion. And if you stay in that reality where it's mostly an illusion and you just want to prepare, then you can't help but to have fear because you stay stuck in an illusion. You don't want to separate from the illusion. So that's automatic fear no matter how you feel. Okay? But anyway, that's all I got to say, and I'll talk later.